What's up, friends? Yeah, check that out. That fancy intro and a fancy transition for this. Let me turn my microphone up a little bit for everyone there at home. There you go. That's a little nicer. For this, the very first episode of Slightly Obscure here on the XSplit channel. What up? My name's Chris Slight. As it says there, host/streamer. I do both of those things. Hi. So the idea of this show is 1, so we can chill, hang out. 2, so if you have any XSplit questions, you ask Slater. He's in the chat. Basically, I don't know. I mean, look at me. I'm in the process of moving. Look at this room I'm in. Here we are. I don't have answers, but I do have cool games you may not have heard of. Today we're going to be playing a game called 80 Days. You guys heard of that one? Let me know. XSplit's going to give it to you. Thanks, Tulsinator. Slater giving me a little face. I guess because I said he's going to answer questions. You got XSplit questions. Basically what I'm saying is I don't have the answers. And like I was meant to start like 25 minutes ago and everything broke. And I was just talking to Slater. So he's the man to ask. Basically, it's my own fault, is what you need to know as the long and short of what happened there. So yeah, I'm going to be playing a game called 80 Days. I don't know if you've heard of it. Hey, gamer guy in a suit, fantastic game, he says. Yes, it is. Let me load it up. And let me put us over to this bad boy, where Chris has got the wrong thing selected. El Gato! I don't need you, but thanks to the power of XSplit. Boom. I can just add this game. Nice and easy. Let me get it in here. Game capture. 80 days. Zoop. And then let's put this down here. Look at that. XSplit. Don't you just love it? I know I do. London, 1872. I have entered into the service of a new gentleman, it would seem. It would seem he is a gambling man. Transitions, I know, right? Don't they look amazing? So this is a narrative game. I first heard of this through Kotaku, and then I think I got it in the Humble Narrative Bundle, was how I picked this game up. But you can check this out now. It's a cool little narrative game, and it's really nice and relaxing. I've had a long day, as I'm sure have you. He says, making his chair a little bit lower. So why don't we just relax and play a game that's not going to totally stress us out, you know? How's the game volume for everyone? Based on the novel by Jules Verne, which is Around the World in 80 Days. I can turn the volume up a little bit if that works for people. So you can pick your start city, I believe, but I am just outside London right now. So I'm gonna pick Londinium. Let us begin our journey. I believe we are trying to get around the world in 80 days. Everything sounds fantastic. Beautiful! Monsieur Phileas Fogg returned home early from the Reform Club and in a newfangled steam carriage. Besides, I helped him down. And the iron-lunged, steam-driven horses clattered away. See, it's a narrative game. Yeah. Passport out, he said. Who knows what that means? We are going around the world. Now, this game, as much as it seems like it's a visually novel-y, so that's what appealed to me about it. Visual novel. The thing that kind of appealed to me about it is that it's got loads of different alleyways that the story can go down, and kind of different events that happen that are not just... Welcome to the chat. How you doing? Fide? Good to have you here. Tulsinator, calm yourself. Around the world, monsieur. I'm not just agreeing with him straight away like that. I asked, utterly astonished. We shall circumnavigate the globe within 80 days. He was quite calm as he proposed the wild scheme. We leave for Paris on the 8:25, in an hour. But I've not prepared. You are in jest. This was a shocking turnabout. Doing so well. Glad to hear that, man. Glad to hear that. Words, lots of words. Wasted, you love reading in games. That's your favorite thing. I'm gonna go. But I have not prepared. I said wretchedly. You, Passport, have no... Oh, that's my name. Passportout. Passportout. However you say that. But I have not prepared, I said wretchedly, quickly trying to organize a list of necessary items in my mind. Then do it now. Pack an altimeter and my evening jacket. It's not a moment to waste. You, Passport, have no funds. Your character is now steadfast. Okay. Swish. We're off to Paris. Quickly pass about, collect our things, and we will be off. Let me pack. So he wanted his pocket altimeter. And his... What the hell else would he want? I can't remember what he said. It's the moment. Oh, okay. So I'm actually timed. Right. In shipping time, don't restore any single shipping routes in Europe. You never go wrong with playing cards. Let me just throw that out there. And evening jacket. And can I fit that in the bag? I can't fit that in the bag as well. Wool shirts, wool trousers. You know what? That we'll just have to do without the shipping. Our completed English wardrobe should help us negotiate times of upper-class journeys. Ah, see, everything's got a reason. No need for a bathroom on this trip. The earth is your toilet. Wonderful, Tosno. All right, Paris. Embark. Oh, I got to click on it, right? Yeah. Embark. Afraid Express to Paris, departing now. The guard's van has space for one suitcase, which will suffice. Travel, this promises to be a bearable route. Okay. And away we go. This is... Ah, okay. I was going to say, this is slow. The mechanical horses race past Piccadilly Circus and the Pall Mall faster than a team of thoroughbreds. Even so, the whistle of the 8:25 was blowing as we pulled up to Charing Cross Station. We have no tickets, I exclaimed. We raced across the concourse and threw ourselves aboard. We have no tickets. That does not signify, Monsieur Fogg remarked over his shoulder as he hurtled towards the platforms. We must not miss this train. I rushed after him. We both leapt aboard. I dashed to the ticket booth because we could get screwed if I don't have tickets. But I dashed to the ticket booth, judging that there was a moment to spare. Elbowing aside a few ladies and gentlemen, yeah. Who were ambling about as though it were Brighton Pier and not a busy train station. 2 singles to Paris, I demanded quite breathlessly. The guard raised his pen with agonizing slowness. Leaving tomorrow, he intoned, leaving immediately! And hurry! I know this game now. It's been editor's choice in the App Store for ages. Thought the name was familiar. See? Ah. Nothing but the best. The whistle of the train shrieked once more. I drummed my fingers on the counter. Hurry up! The guard nodded, his neck bones all but creaking from the movement. Other customers muttered behind me, cursing my continental rudeness, no doubt. I stamped my foot with impatience. I pushed the money to him impatiently, but the guard pretended not to notice until the tickets were perfectly calligraphed. I can read really well. Then he counted the bills one by one. The final whistle blew long and slow and damning. The 8:25 train was pulling away. I looked wildly for the guardrail. I waved at the guard to stop the train. Tickets held aloft. He looked puzzled and waved his flag. The train slowed a little, and I thanked him profusely as I jumped aboard. We were passing Dartford when I located Monsieur Fogg. Love games that hardly anyone knows of. Yeah, it's nice, man. And that's the point of the show. So I see I spent a little money there getting my tickets. We were passing Dartford when I located Monsieur Fogg in one of the compartments. He looked up briefly and returned to his newspaper. I told the ticket inspector that you would be appearing presently, he remarked. unperturbed. Your funds have gone down a little. Your relationship with Fogg has deteriorated. Your character is now organized. Okay, so Fogg's a little annoyed, but I'm more organized. Like, I'm ready to go. Okay. I'm on fine form. We shall make haste. Oh, I can actually pick to converse. Let's converse. In conversation. I'm at your service, Monsieur Fogg. Ah, the bumbling passerpa... I'm bumbling. Journey. Tell me, Monsieur. What is the purpose of our journey? I have made a hefty wager, and I do not intend to lose. No. This journey will be most expensive, Monsieur. Indeed, but we can earn a little from buying and selling our possessions as we travel. Very good. Alright. Onwards to Paris. London's smog gave way to rolling hills and pastures of the Kentish countryside, still untouched by the hands of technological advancement. Monsieur Fogg read his paper while I repacked our bags. That one, I think. Thrown together in haste and confusion. As afternoon turned inexorably into evening, I discovered that my master was one of those gentlemen who broke their silence rarely, if at all. Oregon Trail-esque. Yeah, it is kinda. But, like, Britishy. A guard rapped on our door. A few miles before Dover. We were about to submerge, he warned. Take some people a little funny, so watch out. What do you mean submerge? But is it safe? What do you mean submerge? I cried. This is the London to Paris Amphitrite Express, he explained, as though to a particularly dim-witted child. The submersible train? Talk of all the London papers? I must have missed it. Then this is the Mer train, I exclaimed. He made a face. Bloody journalists and their silly names, he muttered. Every inch of her has been examined and stamped with the artificer's seal. This is the world. Only Bath's scape a locomotive. I could not help a shiver. I pressed my face to the glass window. I'd be super excited by this. Hey Fred, how you doing? Welcome to the stream, buddy. Good to have you here. Kiss. Night fell and we plunged past the end of the track into the freezing water of the English Channel. Relations with Fogg have improved slightly. Huh. I guess because I packed the bag and seemed more interested in things. Man, this is it. Chill. That's what I like about this. Amphitrite ploughed through the water overnight and splashed up onto wider gauge French tracks at Calais as with dawn broke. Do you have a route in mind, monsieur? I began to consider what we might require for our journey. Let's see if he has a route in mind. I asked as the water of the channel dried from the compartment windows. I am as yet undecided, my master admitted. The new canal has sped up the shipping route, route from Suez to Bombay. Though perhaps we could take the Trans-Siberian Railway across Russia. Surely not Bombay. Surely not Siberia. Oh, what's worse? One's freezing, one's boiling. Alright guys, I'm going to put this to you. What one? Surely not Bombay? Surely not Serbia. I don't know. Either way, there are problems, you know? Like, you go Bombay, it's like... You go Serbia, it's all cold. I think. Serbia's like in the Trans-Siberian Railway goes through Russia and it's like freezing cold, right? I think. Please educate me though. If you already know. Over there in Chat Town. Nobody gets me quick. I'm just going to make a decision. I prefer the cold. So I'm going to go surely not Bombay. I exclaimed, we shall certainly wilt in the scorching heat. See, that's what I don't want. Then we would do well to buy hats and linen trousers, he replied. There are alternatives. We may also travel overland and across the Black and the Caspian Seas. But which is the fastest? I believe, he said, that is what we shall put to the test. Parbleu, I scarcely knew what to think. We arrived in Paris, Gare du Nord, just after 1 o'clock. Automaton porters filled our lifted our luggage, I'm so good at reading, and then our persons onto the platform with long, delicately fingered iron arms. Paris, city of my heart. I was home, but not to stay. New routes. Okay, so we could either take the Suez Canal. To Bombay. Or get to Moscow and take the Trans-Siberian Railway. And the idea here is we're trying to get around the world in 80 days. Serbia, it's freezing cold. I'm thinking about it. We've packed evening stuff. Some of our possessions would sell efficiently here. I see. Well, let's go to the market. Extra suitcase is £10. You know what? How much is a totally gonna get an extra suitcase. We need another suitcase as well. Okay. Take some wine, geometry equipment, and a cloak. Okay. That'll do me. How do I get out of here? Oh, okay, like that. No time for the bank. Opens at 10 a.m. Let's explore, which will add 4 hours to the journey. Ah, but that meant we discovered new routes. Okay. We had a few hours to spare. I asked myself, Fogg, if I might enjoy my city before we had to leave. Indeed, and you should learn anything of note. Be sure to relay it. Gotcha. I nodded and headed into town. Talk on the streets was of one thing only, the enormous, elegant oval stadium constructed upon the green fields of Champ de Mars, containing the technological marvels, art, amusement parks, and milling crowds of the World Fair of 1872. My city wore the scars of last year's siege. I ventured inside, but I was certain Monsieur Fogg did not intend for me to visit fairs. I'll venture inside. I ventured in... Oh, I got an achievement for that. I ventured inside the grand illuminated pavilions of the exposition. And as I was replacing an arc light, I went west towards the airship hangar. Past the booth of a husband and wife pair selling panoramic hot air balloon rides to eager tourists, I inquired as to their hourly rate. Yeah. Wondering if perhaps the balloon could be encouraged to go a little way east as well and contribute to our great journey. £80 for a half-hour flight, the man responded. I gasped, that is robbery. The man shrugged. Well, the only balloonist here today. Are you willing to miss out on the experience of a fly over Paris? I'm going around the world, I replied. I have for much more impressive sights in the days to come. The man nodded and moved on to the next panel with great swiftness. I regarded the airship that filled the hangar behind him. Yes, I believe I will. There are a huge number on display from all over the world, and my eye was immediately caught by the African-made rigid metal balloon, the Egyptian Ifrit-class airship, Ifrit, right? Final Fantasy. The metal-clad four-propellered Savarkar automatic, the bulky coal-powered Ottoman Gaik, and the twin-bladed Peruvian gyrocopter. Ooh, a Peruvian gyrocopter. I think. Yeah, twin-bladed Peruvian gyrocopter just sounds like it's fraught with problems. I'm kind of tempted by the metal-clad, that one. Okay, automatic with its red and yellowish painted hull. They use the power of the sun, you know, remarked the lady of the stand. No fuel at all? A little, for takeoff and emergencies. They have rainy seasons in India, and they don't want their whole fleet grounded. Atomics, such as this, sailed the skies of British India near the Delhi home of the inventor, Amula Savarkar. Hmm. Perhaps one day soon, Monsieur Fogg and I will find ourselves flying in such a craft. I return to the exposition centre, my thoughts turning with clouds and engine roars. Avenues sprawled in every direction between inviting illuminated pavilions and exposition. An officer was replacing an arc light. Let's talk to that guy. Which had burned out. She first disconnected the strange machine powering the lights. It had a spinning iron wheel, which was wound around a series of armature coils. What is that device, Artificer? I merely watched politely, not when it stopped work. I will ask that. I asked politely, my eyes straying to the copper lily which proclaimed her profession. It's a bleeding nuisance is what it is, the artificer grumbled in a thick Yorkshire accent. Oh, Yorkshire. Bleeding nuisance is what it is. These grand machines are finicky beasts. I've often found that to be the case. I replied gauntly. Oh yes, you're an artificer, are you? You look like a stuffed bird. I laughed. No artificer, merely a valet. Well, when I next have a gear shaft that needs whiskers trimming, I'll call for you. I retreated hastily, not at all in terror of her irate tone. The harshness of her tone was belied by her gentle touch, as she unscrewed the arc light's globe of enamelled glass and replaced the 2 carbon rods within. She reconnected the supply, and the 10 Yabalachov candles reconnected in series lit up once more. They are miraculous. I am wasting a lot of time doing all of this as well, I'm noticing, and we're always about to enter day 3. They are miraculous, I breathed. The answer of it snorted. Their hard work is what they are. Miracles indeed. But her mouth softened into a small, proud smile. She looked at her pocket watch, cursed, and hurried off, dropping something as she went. I hurried after her to return it, and she thanked me. My medallion! I'll need that to get my lunch at the canteen, thank you! I bowed in return. She giggled. Stop that, you make me blush. She rubbed the coin thoughtfully. I was given this for my work in Istanbul, you know. I made a very special automaton. I think it works as a driver now on the route up to Izmir. I think that's right. An interesting tidbit. An automaton who can drive? Of course, is that so strange? I could only shrug. Who knows what is normal in this modern world? I looked about me once more. Crowds of tourists jolted and... Okay, so we know there's robots that can drive now. Learning all the things. Crowds of tourists jolted and heaved past, their eyes wide with wonder. I headed towards the red and purple tents of the Artificers Guild. I took a stroll around the Avenue of Nations. I decided to take my leave. And I returned to Monsieur Fogg, who was eating a meal of plain boiled beef lasagna. Did you enjoy the exposition? My master inquired indifferently, as though I had been out visiting an aged great aunt. Having preferred a hearty meal and an English newspaper, and I nodded. There you go. Rather than witnessing all the wonders of the modern world had to offer. Nothing else could possibly impress me now. We are unspeakably lucky to live in such an age of invention. Will we travel by airship, do you suppose? I asked. I think that's highly likely, he replied. They're expensive, but extremely fast. I dreamed that night of mechanical wonders and automatons with beautiful enamelled faces, knowing little of the strange inventions and strange peoples I could soon encounter in my journey around the world. Your character is now dependable. Boom. Damn right I'm dependable. Alright, so we've got even more routes thanks to that lady telling us. Clock is ticking, Passport. We must decide the next step quickly. Okay. Plan. Okay, so that's £55. Parts in 3 days. Parts in 2 days. Parts tomorrow to Amsterdam. But it's £75. This whole thing is £250. But will get us all the way to Vienna and arrive Saturday. That sounds like the way to me. The Orient Express. I think this departure could be discussed. Negotiate. The Englishman's wardrobe should yield results. Continue. Most generous. No charge. And so I have to pay an extra £250. Well, let's do that. I'm going to go to there, right? Have to stay the night. Gotcha. Okay. So, let's get a hotel. We'll pass the night here. Wonderful. I was wondering why I couldn't see you. Bleeding Channel, hopping host of most. What's up, Mr. Smith? Welcome to the stream. Took a hotel for the night. We will be comfortable here, Monsieur Fogg remarked. But travelling overnight will often be more efficient. So we must board the longest journeys available. Perhaps, he replied, the short answer indicating, I think that one-day journeys might often be more flexible in their timing and could allow for more connections. Still, the surroundings of the Hotel Ritz were most enjoyable. Let's depart. And let's head to Vienna. I've had back £50, okay. So, I had to pay £50 in order just to fit all the bags I've now got. Sup, Curtis? Boarding the Orient Express was an altogether calmer affair than our race through London had been. Mechanical porters loaded us in through the windows, then snapped them shut with a delicate click. So you see, it would be different every time I do anything. So, train was very beautiful. The train was extremely fast. The train would be the first leg of a much longer journey. The train was extremely fast. The train was extremely fast and could sweep us across the whole of Europe, or at least as far as Deutsches Karlstedt. I think I said that right. Where the track currently ceased. At last, the whistle blew and began our journey east. You seem a quite handy man to have around, Passport. Let's converse. Greetings, monsieur. Can I help you at all, monsieur? I am the guard of this train. Begin conversation. I'm very interested in Vienna. They say all the musicians in Vienna are drafted into the military. This route, Vienna, Prague, Vienna, Budapest. I believe so. One can travel in a private car from Vienna to Budapest, but the journey is a tiring one. Okay, what about to Belgrade? Let's just say there is neither bank nor market in Belgrade. Now, anyway, have you been to Bordeaux? No. Ah, shame. I wanted to ask if there was a nice spot for a honeymoon. Yeah, XSplit's gone sentient. It's real. And yeah, thank you so much, guys, for coming over. This is the very first Slightly Obscure. I'm trying to play games you may not have heard of. And this one is called 80 Days, which you can check out. I believe it's on iOS and PC at the moment, so you can check it out there. Budapest to Venice. Is it possible to go from Budapest to Venice? Have you heard that you can obtain Carnival masks in Venice that will sell for a fortune in Antillia? I've probably learned enough from this guy. Done with you. Okay, so I've now learnt that I can get from Vienna to Budapest. My master wished to be undisturbed, so as we left Paris, I barred our compartment door. I left him and went to explore the train. Barred our compartment door. And we settled down our house. Relations with Fogg have improved slightly. Your character is now sharp. Nice. This means nothing to me when we get there. I make that joke every time Vienna's referenced ever. We arrived at Vienna in the early hours of the morning. The customs officials insisted on searching our bags for, of all things, artificing tools. I queried the official. Foreigners are forbid from making automata within the borders of the Austro-Hungarian Empire, he repeated with a bored expression. Strange state of affairs, but I was hardly an artificer. And so it mattered little. The sun rose in the sky as well as left the station, illuminating the wide tree-lined avenues of Vienna in pale welcoming light. How wonderful as we arrive in Vienna. There seems to be no departures today. We should explore a little. Let's. Ooh. Okay. I did not see a single flesh and blood soldier in Vienna. The city of music. My dear friends, the rumours are quite real. The Austro-Hungarian Empire's might is built upon the armies of the mechanical men. They are a delightful sight. Their pure faces are homogeneously handsome. Ooh. Go with that. Ranged in gleaming rows alongside the Parisian-style Buldivars. I can't say that properly. Their now in uniforms shine to a polish. As I watched, I was approached by a bookish fellow. You're doing Ultravox references. I'm still humming Around the World in 8 Days theme tune. Awesome stuff. You think them fantastical? He demanded, a curious turn to his voice. Glorious, I replied. Beautifully crafted. They are more impressive than you could have imagined. He stuck out his hand. Herr Danzer, apprentice engineer in the Imperial Kriegsstalsche. We went to a cafe to talk. I plied him with wine. I shook his hand and moved on. I plied him with wine to loosen his tongue, and once he started talking, he could not stop. Have you noticed none of the mechanical soldiers carry weapons? He hissed. What do you make of that? I shrugged. They are strong, I suppose. It is most unusual. I agreed. Inside each one is a Mozart Haydn device perfectly tuned, I replied. The song the soldiers sing is one of devastation. A battalion in harmony can punch through a steel wall. He drew a gilded fruit from his scabbard and laid it on the table, looking at it thoughtfully. Ah, okay. You're a musician yourself. Your flute is how you control them. The automata understand music? Oh no, he answered, uninterested in my line of thinking. They merely respond to musical pitch and tone. I cannot reproduce his entire explanation, for it is rather stretched, my German, but it seems the mechanical armies of Austro-Hungary are controlled by music. Will you be staying in the city tonight? He asked, pouring himself another glass. Why do you ask? He glanced about him before replying. The army is preparing itself. Events are on the move here. If you stayed, you would see for yourself. Is it worth seeing? I persisted. You are travelling, he replied. The army is travelling into Belgrade. And what of you? Will you ever leave Vienna? Oh, okay, I guess I don't want to go to Belgrade. I dream of it, he confessed. As a boy, I longed to join the Artificers Guild. But for someone born in this country, it is impossible. The Kaiser and the Guild are sworn enemies. The Guild, I reminded him, were politically neutral. I pitied his circumstances. His self-pity disgusted me. So one or the other. Like, oh man, I feel bad for you. Or you disgust me, you horrible man. Politically neutral. He shook his head. The Guild are forbidden within the Austro-Hungarian Empire. Our automata are not Guild approved. They are our own. His mouth was a cold lime. The Guild would not countenance building such monsters. The wine must have taken hold as he began to weep. I took the opportunity to steal his flute. I'm not going to steal his flute. I left the cafe soon after. I mean, a flute might be useful, but your funds have gone down to cut. Your character is now dependable. Well, now we know. Another case, can't you pass the bell? Maybe. I mean, what they got here? Pressure gauge? Can't see why I'd need that. Ooh, that's worth money in Antalya. So let's get that. Monkey wrench? Part of the engineer's set. I mean, to be fair, I bought geometry equipment. What was the point of me getting that? Worth a lot of money in Berlin, I see. Windscarf. Part of the Dusty Road set. Yeah, I'm probably good for that. That music box is delightful. My old nanny used to hum me for Isa. Let's look at what routes we can take. We could go to Warsaw. Arrive Sunday, depart in 2 days. Depart before 7 PM. I could go to Budapest. Or depart for 1 PM and I could go to Venice. Let's do that. Guess we're not doing that because it's now gone 1. Budapest by car arrives today. Warsaw arrives Sunday. But that doesn't depart for 2 days. There's a Dusty Road set? Hard times, brother, hard times. Well, you know what? Let's just pass the night and see how the day takes us tomorrow. We found a room in the newly opened Hotel Imperial in a suite built for Duke Philip of Württemberg, Misandert. The view of the Ringstrasse was impressive. Delightful chamber group playing in the lobby. So once Monsieur Fogg was seen to, I took myself downstairs, settled down with a cognac, and enjoyed the gentle music. After an hour or so, a group of men in fine dress came in and began making unconscionable noise at the bar. I could no longer hear the music, so I retired. I went to ask them to be quiet. I listened in on their banter. I could hardly help it, and learnt the most interesting thing. It seemed these men were local councillors who had been supervising a large movement of troops towards the train station destined for Belgrade, and then Istanbul. I tried to overhear more detail, but I could catch little. Conversation quickly turned to mistresses and musicians, so I slipped away. I guess we just... Oh, but I could get... That is now a route. That's the part. Zoom out a little. Okay, we didn't want to zoom out that much. There is still, though, Trans-Serbian Railway. I think I might take my chances with that. So that would involve me getting to Warsaw. I expect this departure could be adjusted. Negotiate. The Englishman's wardrobe should yield results. Let's do this. Marriage is supposed to 3 suitcases, which will suffice. Nice. Boom. On another train to Warsaw. It was not the Orient Express that took us northeast from Vienna towards Warsaw. That train travelled to exotic locations. We were destined for gloomy cold of the north, into the paws of the bear of Russia. Aboard the train, we stayed to ourselves. I fell in a conversation with a Russian gentleman, who, as he told me at great length, was making the long journey back to Vladivostok via Moscow and the Trans-Serbian Express. I asked him about Moscow, I asked him about the Trans-Serbian. I told him about Trans-Serbian. His ruddy face lit up. Now there is a train, he infused, warming to the subject. It is capable of lifting off and levitating at higher speeds. The Tsar keeps it slow on purpose because he does not quite trust it. The train juddered. I asked him about Moscow, and he shrugged. A nice enough city to pass through, he said, but not one to stay in. Too easy to offend the Tsar and his loyalists there. He bade me farewell, and I returned to my compartment. Well, let's chat to my buddy. Oh, I'm chatting to the guard. Greetings, monsieur. Yes, monsieur, I am the guard of this train. Warsaw. What do you know about Warsaw? For instance, Moscow can reach Warsaw aboard the Belarus Express. Also the Minsk, Berlin, Budapest. How would I know? Only merchants in Moscow will pay fantastic amounts for absinthe from Budapest. But now, there is an old lady who has lost a dog. Have you seen it? Yes. Why, indeed, the creature was hanging up the corridor. Oh dear, I was rather hoping it had fallen off somewhere. What an ass! Let's use the old playing cards. Most generous. Let's ask him about Moscow. Have you heard that the most efficient way to Moscow from here is to go via Minsk? Really? What do you know about Minsk? Minsk is really very cold. Okay. Well, I'm done with you, pal. So Minsk, then to Moscow. Train itself was comfortable enough and fast. We arrived in Warsaw before nightfall. Oh, we're doing alright. We're at Warsaw. Some of our possessions could earn us well here. What do we got? That's 53. Worth more money in Berlin. Valuable here. Oh, let's sell it. don't want to sell the Englishman's wardrobe. Sell some more in Berlin. And what have they got? They got an accordion? Oh yeah, Athens, Helsinki, and Minsk. Right, I'm going to Minsk. Yeah, I'm going to Minsk. I'll take it. Actually, let's move that in there, and then I can put that in there, and then I'm good. You hope the dog fell off. Right, Curtis? What is up with that guy? Why would you wish that upon a dog? Who has done so little? Hey, while we're here, while I'm taking this juncture, you got any XSplit questions? Get them into Slayer right now. I want to see some useful advice being given out. Well, the only connection we've got is Moscow. Arrives Tuesday. £390. I'm quite sure this departure could be adjusted. Thoroughly ungentlemanly behaviour. Ah, jeez. It cost more. Just runs to Moscow along Russia and onto your foot. Ocean fishing way at Moscow to go via Minsk. Very cold. Well, looks like we are staying the night. Jeez, these guys get up at 6:30 in the morning. We walk the streets of Warsaw, feeling the air of a different continent all around. In less than 2 generations, the Tsars had made this little outpost all their own. But there were the signs of dissent on every corner. They have made it much nicer too. I can't be bothered getting in on the signs of dissent. There are building works on every road, with great digging machines sitting idle during the day and coming to life in the evening as they carve out sewage and water systems that will allow the city to grow to an enormous size. Touch of empire can do wonders. I suppose we'll be out. Indeed, I remarked to Monsieur Fogg, but his eyebrows scolded me. No good will come of this, he replied. Only malignant growths and rust expand at such a rate. He shook his head sadly. When will people realize that only the English are fit to run an empire? Right, Fogg, I've been saying it for ages. I agreed emphatically. What a pair of travellers we are, putting this silly world to rights. I do hope you're not spending too much, Parzival. That money has to last all the way around the world. Good point. What departures can we do? I want to go to Minsk. Arrives today. Embark. Yeah, let's do that. Most of the bothers and experience. I'm a travelling craft project. I should help. Okay, go. It's going to be cold. I'm hoping in Minsk I can buy some cold weather stuff. We clambered aboard this train. Monsieur Fogg settled in a far corner like a dusty old uncle, and I went to sit next to him, pressed my nose against the glass. Went to sit next to him, ready to attend his wishes. He had none, of course, but to be left alone with his thoughts, whatever they were. So we rode in silence. What's up, Jiggy? How you doing? And I smell wonderful. That's how I smell. I'm going to talk to this guy now. How's it going, buddy? Greetings, Monsieur Krataskin. Good evening, man of France. Huh. Well. Let's ask him about Minsk. Here's something. St. Petersburg can be reached from Minsk aboard the St. Petersburg Express. But this journey is a tiring one. What about Minsk to Prague? Figure out luck there. What about Minsk to Odessa? Indeed, you can get to Odessa from Minsk, the passenger carriage, but the fare is expensive. Okay. So I could go to Odessa, but it costs a lot of money. We arrived at Minsk after nightfall and disembarked. Sounds good. Right. An accordion could earn us well here. Well, that doesn't open till 7. Might as well get a hotel. 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 Might as well get a ho A very cold newspaperman offered me a sip of Turkish coffee at a tram stop in Minsk. My grandfather was French, he said blandly. Then we are compatriots. I toasted him and my ceramic tumbler. I do not think so, he spat on the ground vehemently. I did not know him. He was one of Napoleon's soldiers. Minsk was occupied by the Grand Army during the invasion. He did not speak in particularly accusative tone, but any words I tried to say in reply coagulated at the back of my throat. I managed to choke out. I am sorry. Sorry? He turned to me and smiled half his mouth. What are you sorry for? You did nothing. He gestured at the cup again. You travelling? We head from here to Moscow, I think. We will cross Russia to Japan. He gave me a downturned smile. Vladivostok is closed, he said. You'll have more luck going through China, unless you're military. We aren't. Our tram wheezed into the stop, and the conductor opened the doors. The newspaperman boarded. Enjoy your coffee, he added without looking in my direction. I decided to wait for the next tram. But my dreams that night were haunted by cavalry and cannon and soldiers with smiles like sabres. Good lord. Well, we got half an hour. Let's look at... Actually, do you know what? Let's explore. Let's go back. Adds 4 hours, but the market will be open by the time I'm done. I took a few hours to explore, investigating various options for how we might continue our journey. So this should have added some new routes, with any luck. Let's head to the market. Sell this. Yeah, that sells for a lot. Boom. That's some sweet muns. Oh, it's still worth more until not selling any of this. A sickness is psychological. Alchemy can be most reassuring. Okay. Shortbread? Why would I want shortbread? Genuine Scottish shortbread. Not sure how it got here. It's hard to understand. A railway cap. Railwayman's cap. The sort worn by train guards and enthusiasts. Part of the railwayman set. Certificate. These are attaching to a jackline in heavy weather. Part of the heavy storm set. I'll buy that. No, none of this is... Actually, food wouldn't hurt, would it? Let's get out of here. Seems like you have made an excellent trade. Indeed, I have, my friend. Right, so... I don't think I really want to go... Although that way leads to airships. But that's sort of going back on myself, going to Stockholm. I kind of want to go... See, look at... Vladivostok gets all the way there, but... Apparently Vladivostok is closed, so I might want to switch to Pyongyang and then get to Japan. But where can I go from Japan? Well, we'll find out as we go along on this game. 80 days. Trans-Siberian Express runs from Moscow across Russia and so forth. Official way at Moscow go via Minsk. Minsk is very cold. Shortbread suddenly appears. Boom! I dare sit in the passenger carriage, but the fare is expensive. Some bed can be reached before the St. Petersburg set, but the journey is a tiring one. This is very cold. Actually, I do want to get out here. Let's go to Moscow. Oh, hi, the extra space. Cup over will be bothersome, but the travelling cloak should see us right. Wonderful. We are off to Moscow. Train pulled out from Minsk Station. Minsk Station well after nightfall. Monsieur Fogg had taken to tapping his watch every time we began a new journey, as though he was recording the time of departure through some fantastical spring-operated signal. He was sending a message. Most likely a nervous habit. Man of Monsieur Fogg's composure and steady complexion must surely hide some vagaries in his mental closet. Relations with Fogg have improved slightly. Well, wonderful. Look at that. Now we're off to Moscow. There was little time to do anything before total darkness enveloped the train. Let's check the news. Oh, wait. Oh, he's getting cold. Converse. Greetings, mademoiselle. Good evening. Moscow, Vladivostok. Discovered you can reach Vladivostok from Moscow. Oh, really, monsieur? I would like to get to Hong Kong from there. Probably, but some buyers will pay well for pocket altimeters from Hong Kong. Ooh, Honolulu from Vladivostok. Did you know the quickest way to Honolulu from here is through Vladivostok? Well, now we know. We're learning all sorts of things. Now we're at Moscow. Morning came. We're only on day 8 and we're at Moscow. We're killing it. I've still got like 3 grand. Morning came. We were crossing the Russian countryside. The train moving on its slowly steady way. I spent my time playing whist, attending to my master's state, in conversation, attending to my master's state. There you go. See, that put his health back up. Attending to his shaving. And he perked up rapidly. Finally, we pulled into the stone edifice at Moscow Station and disembarked. Boom! Some of our possessions would sell efficiently here. What do we got then? Shortbread sells for 60. Worth more in Berlin. Let's sell the shortbread. What do we got? A cold compress. Never hurts, right? Healing salve for tired joints and bones. That sounds useful. Top hat. Part of the Gentleman Traveller set. A false passport. A forged Englishman's passport in the name of Jack Passenger. Part of the Left of the Law set. Can't think why I'd need either of those. Let's plan. So I would like to end up in Pyongyang. £2,900. It's a lot of my money. But let's maybe go there. Past tomorrow at 11 AM. Okay. Well, let us sleep. We'll part the night here. This health's going up a little. Ah, wonderful. Moscow was not a comfortable city for a Frenchman. A local composer had just written a piece. People were calling the 1812 Overture, commemorating the Russian victory over Napoleon invading the Grand Army in that fateful year. Patriotic passions were fever pitch. I did not let that stop me. So I stayed very sensibly indoors. Alas, my friend, my solitude was quickly interrupted by an officious rap on the door. 2 men in clothes so plain that they were most certainly police officers invited themselves in. The Tsar was a paranoid sort. So it was said, but who can blame him, having personally witnessed his father's assassination as a young man? My luck, it seemed, had deserted me, so I resolved to make my own. They asked me the name and my purpose. I lied audaciously and wildly. I answered deferentially, keeping to the truth and not raising my eyes from the floor. They seemed sceptical about our journey, which I protested, and I could not blame them. Anyone with half a brain in his head would wonder about our breakneck journey around the world. At length, they nodded. One removed a curious monocle and placed it into his pocket. It seems you are truthful. Crazy, but truthful. Why do you travel through Russia? We do not understand. Perhaps you are heading to Vladivostok? We have considered it. A terrible place. Perhaps you have some advice for us. Perhaps we do. The policeman agreed. Vladivostok is closed to all but military personnel. If you were thinking of going that way, choose again. They proceeded to rummage through our cases, tossing our possessions in all directions, but evidently finding nothing of interest. See, that's why I didn't get that forged passport. Can't think why that would ever be useful. Do not stay in Moscow too long. Russian air does not suit Frenchmen. I took their warning to heart and quite look forward to departing the Tsarist capital. Let me explore. See if I learn anything. Different ways to go. Ooh. Ooh. As an explanation, learning of different ways you might travel onward. Ah, see, now I think we should do that. Yes, we're going to cover a lot of ground going that way, but if Vladivostok's closed to everyone but military personnel anyway, I could go that way to Beijing, and then Pyongyang. Maybe I can get a boat from Omaha, but I think we need to keep our funds going. So I think I might do that. Tomorrow I am, so I guess we are... Oh, I can just fast forward time. Hotel was too expensive. I know originally it could have been a shady spot under a tree in the wild. That was cool and hard. I worked twice as hard. Relation fog deteriorated slightly, and the character is now organised. Oh, nice. So if you can't afford the hotel, you can just do that. Shortbread hype. Alright. Let's go this way, then. It's an uncomfortable train. We're on a freight train, but... hell. Cost us a lot more money, and we're going somewhere good. Only a spur from the majestic Trans-Serbian track was much older constructed. Hardly luxurious. Luxurious, let's say. It was quite an imposition for Monsieur Fogg, a fact which I tend to temper. Oh. With solicitousness and care on our journey. Though there was little that could be done to shield Monsieur Fogg from the rickety swaying carriage and whistling draught. Fogg improved slightly. Oh, I guess because I tried. I'm in roaring health, but we must make haste. Shaped moustache, excellent. There you go, buddy. At the end of the day, Monsieur Fogg was feeling almost sorry for himself. Or perhaps slightly motion sick from his incessant study of the newspaper. Alright, we're almost there. Let me converse. As to here, you are most strange luggage. Well, I... maybe... there? Okay. Maybe I'm not going anywhere from there. On the border of the Caspian Sea was a short distance, but the train managed to make a great deal of work out of it. I think it's one of the best burger. I found a train guide talks about our destination. I asked the bartender about journey from Manchester, so I stayed with Monsieur Fogg for the morning. Sorts of people who declared not truly Russian at all. Okay. Didn't really learn that much, but I guess if it's not truly Russian, they're not going to hate the fact that I'm French. Well, let's sell some stuff while I'm here. None of this is selling particularly excitingly. And I need the travelling cloak. Yeah, it's not like I need any money. I've taken the cheap route. Fur-lined boots. Nice. Yeah, I'll take that. Fur-lined boots might be useful, but you know what? Yeah, this is more useful. Nice. I've actually learnt a route. Singapore. Ah! Look at all these routes across oceans. This is what I needed. Ocean routes. Hey, look, there's Manila. So many routes. Like a route master. Nice. Gonna explore. Because you learn more routes. Boom. This whole route situation. I found the place most friendly. A passing remarkably frenetic British seamstress suggested the boat to Tehran. I went to remark that the devout sisters of Dadicus are best avoided in Madras. What should I do with my time in Astrakhan? I asked her. The response was immediate. You must bathe in the river mud. My friend showed me a small hut by the river. Well, that's a fresh mud well for soaking in. The idea being repellent. I could not resist the opportunity. To allow myself into a vat of mud. I undressed behind a wicker screen and clambered in. The effects, dear friends, was most refreshing. Route Master Sly. Decided to try persuading my master to indulge and threw my clothes back into the mud post haste. Mud? I do not think that is necessary. Thank you, Passepartout. Oh, he's not happy about it. See, I think we should maybe go that way, because then you can get an airship there. That route seems awesome, but it just ends in somewhere that doesn't go anywhere, so... It's in 2 days, AM. 20 pounds for tomorrow. Okay. That's his hotel. There you go. Spend a bit of money, but he doesn't have to sleep in the streets. He'll go over it. That was good for him. The remainder of the day, I attended to Monsieur Fogg. I'm form. Let's make haste. Embark. Let's hire some extra space. No additions, cold weather and rough seas. This looks like a worrisome experience, but the travelling coat from under a gentleman's coat should make things easier. Wow, he's going to lose 37 health doing this. So this is the other thing. You got to keep that dude alive. The hydrofoil across the Caspian Sea was a small affair, but run by Alexander Sedlov, a keener and more enthusiastic amateur sailor than I have encountered. This is your ship? I asked as we boarded, stowed luggage away. He patted the side rail of the craft which wobbled. An ex-military vessel my cousin acquired. He replied proudly. I used to be clerk, but the lure of the waves took me by the throat and never let go. He demonstrated. He lunged to me as we spoke. Let's go for that. I had to step deftly aside before he throttled me. Now, this is all I do. Never set foot on dry land. Sea legs are the only legs. I looked at his eyes as he spoke and saw even then the flicker of madness. Then he threw the switch on the engine and we were hurled across the water. Literally hurled as though standing aboard a spinning discus. Jesus. Give him some attentions. Hydrofoil's wild motion did not slow. Is it meant to rotate this way? I put my trust in him. As best I could, following Monsieur Fogg's classic example as we waited out the most grueling day. It's a suspension, said I admitted finally. I think it's a little loose. Ah, jeez. Let's converse. Greetings, Captain Sedlov. Hold tight now. Tehran. Things a friend. Probably, but the quickest way to apply from here is through Etrusk. Look, check this out. New routes in the Americas. My second day, the broken suspension was all I could think about. I just enjoyed any sleep, and while Alexander kept his spirits alive with vodka-laced coffee, myself and Monsieur Fogg were at our wits' end. I tried to sleep. I tried to take control of the vessel, but Sedlov fought me for the controls. When I just swung at him, I backed off. And he brushed himself down. Good thing, too. My friends, he declared, she is very difficult to craft. After several hours, we came in the sight of Baku, and we raised a ragged cheer as though we had survived the shipwreck. We put into land to rest for the night. And now this journey is proving more tiring than I expected. It's 10 to old Foggy. 10 to him again. There you go. This is sort of helping. We're not learning anything, but we're keeping him around. After 6 hours of torture aboard the Dreadwood hydrofoil, I followed 5 hours more. Oh, Jesus. By the end of which, I think there were parts of my body that had seen no blood. No blood for all day. Finally, Captain Sedlov sighted land. Tehran, he declared. Do not worry, my friends. You will find it a more comfortable place to be. I'm glad to hear it, I answered. So I nodded. I'm convinced he really understood I'm not convinced he really understood English at all. I fancy he spoke it like a parrot. We disembarked, and he held out his hand for a tip. Damn his eyes. I gave him £10. I pretended not to understand him. That's what I do. But Fogg could not maintain such a deception. Thankfully, Monsieur Fogg also carried no money, so he merely shook the outstretched hand and said, "Honest satisfied?" We staggered away into town. Wonderful. Travelling cloak could earn us well here. Market doesn't open till 7 AM, so let's get a hotel. Why not? We got cash. Tehran was a city of invention and artifice wrapped around the ancient grandeur. Baydor airships floated between minarets of mosques and church spires glowing golden in the gaslight. Well, friends, I believe we'll wrap it up around about there. That is 80 days. You don't want to see the whole game because I'd advise you check this out for yourself. You can get it on iOS, you can get it on PC. And that, my friends, was the very first episode of Slightly Obscure. We're going to be playing all sorts of games, not just narrative games. We're going to be playing a whole ton of stuff. So thank you so much for joining me. This is the very first episode. Also, remember, this whole thing will hopefully be shaped by what you guys think of it. So if you got feedback, anything like that, let me know. I'm on Twitter, @ChrisSlight. So you can check me out there. You can also tweet XSplit themselves. They're there. And hey, I'm on Twitch myself, twitch.tv/ChrisSlight. They're good. It's all appearing right there. So, you're good. For now, though, thank you so much for joining me. Like I say, do give us some feedback, because we like to hear it. I'll be playing something different next week, but I will be back at a slightly earlier time next week. But that will all be announced on the official XSplit Twitter. So it all will go well. Thank you so much for joining me, Slater. Thank you so much for being in the chat for this entire thing. Thank you guys for being here. And I hope you enjoyed the game. I'll be back and we will have more slightly obscure games. It's a pun on my name, you see? You see what they did there? They're clever people over at XSplit. They're good guys. For now, though, hope you have a wonderful night. Take care. And I'll see you all soon.